Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers, sisters, friends, viewers of Ikra TV. Welcome to another edition of Real Talk. I'm your host Iqbal Bana. As I keep saying to you, I come and invade your privacy every Monday evening, and I'm sure that while you're doing something very important, interesting, I try and bring subjects to you that affects our community, not just the Muslim community, but other communities as well, to try and bring issues that may be of interest, not just to me and my local communities, but the whole national community in the country, not just West Yorkshire. And every week I try and bring different subjects to try and enlighten people about what is going on around the country and sometimes internationally as well, to try and bring those issues that affect, as I say, everyone on a day-to-day basis. Today I want to talk to you about the new changes that the government brought in on the 9th of September when it comes to issues around death and how death is going to be registered, how people are going to be given certificates in terms of death certificates and the burial certificates as well. Not many people will know this, but on the 9th of September, new rules came into effect under the guise of this thing called the medical examiner, which brings about a change in the way a person's death is recorded, whether it's in the hospital or in the community at home or in the community as well. And this process is going to have a major impact on families, whether we like it or not. And that impact is going to be substantial. So today I have two very eminent guests with me. One has joined us from London, Mohammed Umar, MBE, who is the chair of the National Burial Council. And I'm really pleased to bring him into the studio and ask, I've been asking this gentleman, in fact, both of them to come and join me here for a few months prior to this law coming into effect, Mohammed Mangera from Bolton. So the two gentlemen, I'm deeply grateful to you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi, both of you. Jazakallah for taking time out from your busy lives. Mohammed bhai, can you very quickly sum up what the National Burial Council is all about? I know we've got very few minutes within which to do that, because we're going to be going for a break, and then we can have a substantial discussion about the whole thing about the medical examiner and how that impacts the communities.
First of all, thank you, Iqbal Bhai, for giving me the opportunity to enlighten the community about National Burial Council. National Burial Council was set up about 9 years ago with the sole purpose that we wanted to ensure that we will be able to get an umbrella body and ensure that everybody who were dealing with end-of-life burials and death could come together, share best practice, and raise standards in bereavement. That was the National Burial Council's goal. So what do? What we try and do is to ensure that we lobby the government and we ensure that any aspects which affects the Muslim community in terms of end-of-life burials and deaths, we are represented. Just like the Jewish community would be represented by the Board of Deputies, we wanted to make sure that we had a national organization which we could then discuss with the government and ensure that we could lobby under one umbrella rather than individuals going through, because death is one subject which really should not have any different fix or anything of that nature. Everybody faces death, and I think we should have some commonalities from the different aspects of the different sects of Islam, whereby we can at least agree on the death process side of it. So that's the main purpose of trying to get a united body, so that when the government asks for any consultation, there is a national body which is in a position to present them with a national perspective and a perspective from the Muslim community. So we have actually been, before that, we were representing the Muslim community under the Burial Cremation Advisory Group at the Ministry of Justice, was the main body which was consulting the communities on aspects of death. And from there, we actually matured into the National Burial Council. And as I said, next year will be our 10th year. And what we want to do is raise standard in bereavement. I think what happens is the fact that sometimes people do not give the respect that one deserves for bereaved families. And what we want everybody to do is to ensure that we have a minimum standard. So any family who has any bereavement can be assured that their loved ones would get a dignified burial in accordance with the Islamic principle. And if that is not possible, then we will want to make sure that the government makes sufficient provision that our requirements are also incorporated into the legislation, or at least they are mindful of what is required from our perspective, and to ensure, just like the Jewish community, that the Muslim community also does take into account, their views are taken into account. And more than anything else, remember, we are asking this not only on behalf of the Muslim or the Jewish community, but we are asking this on behalf of any community which requires a speedy burial and a dignified burial. So that is in a nutshell why National Burial Council was set
I
up.
mean, that is really succinctly and very well put, Mohammed. I mean, we're going to be going for a break. And obviously, when you say we want to raise standards, different local authorities have had different practices. So I'm assuming when we come back after the break, we can talk about, you standardizing those policies and practices across the country. So I know very soon after we started this program, we're going to go for a break, because obviously that is part of the requirement that we have to do. Don't go away. If you want to make a call, 01274 214 299. Inshallah, we'll come back to you very soon, and then we can have a more substantial discussion around that. In the meantime, take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.